I know how it feels to open your Instagram and seeing insanely talented photographers and thinking for yourself, how on earth someone is going to book me with these photographers out there? Because there is a lot of competition. But I left Spain by myself to move to London without knowing a word of English, for those new here, to pursue my dreams as a photographer. I was still a beginner photographer without having any clue about what I was doing, and I made it happen after a few years. And let me tell you that in London, we have the best photographers in the world. If I had let that intimidate me, I wouldn't be here right now, living in Bali. Because when I managed to become a full-time freelance photographer and creative director in London, after a few years, I've learned how to monetize my skills online as a photographer, and now I'm able to be remote and I live in Bali. So imagine how scared I was when I moved to London without speaking a word of English, with a Canon 7D under my arm, and sharing a hostel room with 15 people, without having a job, without having a house, nothing. And thinking about the competition in London. You don't need to be the best to make money with your camera. So if you are sitting there thinking that you are not good enough, or you cannot make a living from your camera, or you just don't put yourself out there because you think you are not good enough, this video is for you, because I'm going to change your mind and you're going to understand why photography technique is not even 50% of the process of becoming a full-time photographer. So please grab yourself a tea, I did it here, or a beer, a coffee, I don't care. Or maybe you can leave me in the background, because this video is gonna be very podcasty, because it's all about mindset. Mindset is so underrated, and mindset is what made me a photographer. So I want to change yours, because it doesn't matter how good you are, if you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not gonna make it. So today, I'm going to be the person that is going to change that for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is about becoming the best. What is best? What is best for you in the photography industry? Because every photographer is so freaking different, and different, it's good. That's your superpower. You don't need to be the best landscape photographer or the best portrait photographer. You just need to be different and let your style shine. I know it's very hard to find your style, but that's why you have to practice and you have to put yourself out there so you find your style. When I started making money with photography, and even when I became a full-time freelance photographer, I was still shooting within many niches and I wasn't sure what I was doing in terms of style. And now I have it, because after working and doing collaborations and doing all sorts of projects, even if I didn't like them, it's how I started to know myself as a creative and as a photographer. So you don't have to be the best. You just have to start and be nice. This is something you wouldn't even believe how important this is. I don't even know how many bookings I've got in London because of my personality. And I don't mean to brag, but I always offer a free meeting before they book me, because I want to see them face to face. This is something I highly recommend you to do, and even more if you are a beginner, because when you meet your clients, everything changes. By email, everything is colder, but when they meet you, they are less scared to shoot with you or to book you or spend money with you. And if you have a nice personality, they gonna love you. So I'm very bubbly. I think you can tell with my videos if you know me. So every time I arrive to the meeting, I'm very professional. I bring my iPad, I bring my laptop, or whatever I need to bring, minimum the iPad, to show them my portfolio and explain everything. And when they get to know me, how passionate I am about photography and how much I want to shoot with them and the ideas I bring with me, for them, that's everything. Some of them, they had meetings with better photographers than me, but they chose me. Why? Because they saw my passion. And maybe the other photographer, yeah, he was or she was very good, but then they were like very cold in the meeting or very cocky. I'm not gonna lie. So many photographers, I don't know why they have the ego here. And that shows when they have the meetings with the client. And the client don't like egos. The client wants to feel comfortable with you. They don't mind about how good you are. Of course, you have to be good. You're not going to be like rubbish and they're going to book you. Of course, no. But they don't really care how perfect you are with your photos. They care about how easy you are to work with them, how nice you are with them, and how genuinely you want to help them. And I really did. I love doing that with my clients. I go extra mile with my clients. Even if I should charge more sometimes, I prefer to go extra mile because word of mouth is super powerful. So I wasn't the best in London and I was getting bookings because I was super nice with them and I was caring about their project. And other photographers, they had a lot of ego. They were like, I don't know, very cold, and clients didn't feel like to work with them. So photography technique is not everything. You have to show personality and passion with what you are doing, and you're gonna get clients even if your quality is not perfect yet. And same goes for reliability. You have to be reliable with your clients. I don't even know how many people I crossed in my life in the creative industry. Very unprofessional. Makeup artists, models, they weren't showing up or they were replying to my emails super late, days later. I'm not talking about hours late, I'm talking about days later. This is not good. So if you are very professional, if you are reliable, if you are creative, I always say I'm a creative director, and many of you ask me, what's the difference between being a photographer and a creative director? So for example, in London, I had a lot of advantage because many clients were coming to me, and when I had the meetings with them, they were telling me, I feel so relaxed with you because I was working a lot for independent fashion brands, okay? I was pointing lower when I was a beginner. This is something I always recommend you to do. Don't point high if you don't have the quality yet, even though then I was growing and I was still targeting independent brands because I loved helping out younger brands. But they told me their biggest challenge was finding a photographer with a vision because they had no clue about the creative direction of their shooting. I was working with a client that was making handbags, but she had no clue about the editorial campaign. She was like, I need a photographer who knows how to create a campaign, who lead the models, post them, choose the locations. She needed everything in one. And she told me she was having meetings with other photographers, but other photographers, they were like, okay, I shoot whatever you tell me. But she didn't know. She wasn't a photographer. But when she phoned me, she was very happy because I had so many ideas for her. I was hiring the models myself. So if you are creative, this is going to help you a lot. And I have many videos on my channel teaching you how to become the creative director of your own photo shoots. So you can play with advantage. So again, maybe your quality is not perfect, but you are bringing to the table your creativity, your ideas, models. You can bring so much to your client without having to be the best photographer with the best technique. There are so many aspects than just photography when you are shooting with a client. And let me tell you that perfection is the enemy of progress in the creative industry. I know that because I've been there myself. If you are waiting till you are ready, you never gonna make it. I know that because I was stuck at the beginning, but you learn by doing. So what I did in London before I managed to become a full-time freelance photographer is taking every single job, even if I wasn't ready. I was shooting venues, I was shooting events, I was shooting food photography. I was like, should I take this? I've never shot flat lay by then, and I have no clue about shooting food photography. Guess what? I did it, and it was quite good. It wasn't too bad. So the photos came out okay, but I was very nervous the night before. And that's totally fine. You're gonna be nervous every time. I still get nervous before every photo shoot, just tiny bit, because by doing for so many years, more than a decade, now I have confidence on myself. And because I put myself out there many times when I wasn't sure about what I was doing, I've learned a lot. So now I'm quite confident because every time I go to a shooting, I'm like, okay, I've been there already. I've been doing food photography, event photography, fashion photography, portrait photography, product photography. So now I can really solve problems as a photographer. And I became that way after years of taking projects I wasn't ready for. Because going through them and going through the fears and solving problems is how you become a good photographer. So I highly encourage you to do this as well. And you don't have to be perfect. The food photos, they were good, but a food photographer would have been much better. My client didn't care. My client liked to work with me and the photos were good and I cared about his project and that's all he cared about. That's it. Sometimes we think that, oh my God, our client wants the best of the best and I need to perform because otherwise he's going to hate me. No, your client saw your portfolio and the level you have right now. So if it's booking you, he knows what to expect, but you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good enough and care for your client because your client is going to notice that and they are going to be super happy with you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be good enough and be yourself. You have no idea the power it has being yourself and being nice because I've been working in big fashion campaigns where I was shooting just behind the scenes. I wasn't the main photographer. There were big photographers working in that campaign, and I was like, now I understand why people want to work with me, because I'm very easy to work with. I'm very communicative. I'm very nice with my clients. I try to understand them. I'm an empath, so that helps a lot. So I really care about them, and I don't treat them like I'm the photographer and you are my client. I treat them like a friend, and they love that. And then when I see these bigger photographers, I'm like, wow, they don't talk. They are super cold. They behave like, I don't know, like they are someone incredibly important. They are just photographers, okay? We are all equal. And they behave with such an ego, and people don't want to work with them anymore. Yes, the photos are incredible, better than mine, but people don't want to work with assholes, basically. They don't. And in this industry, when I was in London, I was like, wow, I'm very happy I'm freelance, because I've been in situations with agencies and I was like so uncomfortable. You wouldn't even believe the battle of egos in those agencies. I was like, wow, I'm so happy I'm freelance. And if I want, I work with these agencies or not. I prefer to work with individual clients because they are more grateful and it's more intimate. And that's what I keep doing. That's how I love shooting. And you will figure it out as well. Maybe you love working with agencies. Not all the agencies are equal. I've been in amazing ones, but some others I'm like, wow, this is toxic. People is very hard to work with, like very rude to you, and they feel they are more than you. So yeah, don't feel jealous when you see people working in big agencies. Please don't make your goal as a photographer to work in a big agency, because you're going to be disappointed sometimes. For me, I found my place being freelance. I love it. I choose my clients and I can feel their energy, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to enjoy working with this client. Of course, if you're a beginner, you have to take everything that comes your way and you have to go through everything to find what you want, like I did. So you will figure it out, and maybe something different to what I like. That's totally fine. But yeah, just so you know that the grass is not greener in the other side many times, okay? And same goes with social media. I see amazing shots and I'm like, okay, another incredible shot. Better than mine, obviously. I'm looking up to those photographers and I love their photography and I love seeing it to get inspiration. But many times, like, wow, people are so freaking good. But that doesn't demotivate me anymore. It doesn't, because I'm like, I'm doing my thing. For example, when I started my channel 5 years ago, Peter McKinnon was killing it. He was killing it. And I was thinking for myself, what I'm going to teach on my channel that he's not teaching already. He's too good. His videos, he's a filmmaker. His videos are incredible. And I'm just a newbie with my camera, because for video, I was a total beginner. You can go back to see my first video. It's so cringy. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. It's so cringy, my first video. And that's totally fine. And now if you compare my first video to this one or the last ones, you're gonna be, wow, she's grown a lot. How did I do it? By posting every single week and by doing. And the same goes for photography. But what I was trying to say is that I was very scared to start my YouTube channel because Peter McKinnon was killing it. But guess what? I made it happen on YouTube. Why? Because he's Peter McKinnon and I'm Laura BC. I'm a different human being and I teach different things. I have another style with my photography, another personality. So don't think because others have quality, you cannot be yourself and grow as a photographer or even as a content creator if you want to get into it. Because many of you told me that you want to create a YouTube channel, but you don't know what to teach because you are not there yet. We are in 2025. You don't need to teach. You can perfectly be yourself and share your learning process. And people engage with that a lot because we live in such a perfect world in social media where everyone is sharing their perfect lives, their perfect work. They are an expert on everything. No, none of us are an expert on everything, okay? And people are tired of perfection. So if you share your journey, many people are going to engage with you. There is actually a phrase I love, and I want you to remember from today's video. Being ready is not a feeling, it's a choice. How powerful is that? And it's so true. Because when I moved to London, I couldn't speak a word of English. I wasn't ready to move by myself to a foreign country without speaking the language. I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I didn't know anyone. So I wasn't ready in any way. And I've learned so much from everything. And I grew so much. And now I have my own business. And thanks to everything I went through in London, I'm who I am today. And I'm confident and I'm strong. And yeah, and I know a lot about photography because I've been doing it for many years and I went through hell and back a million times. So please put yourself out there and don't wait till you are ready because you can make it happen. And in photography, there is a space for everyone. I can promise you that because now I don't even try to get clients and I get them because of social media, thankfully. I don't do much, but people find me on Instagram or on YouTube and people come to me. And you can get there as well. Mindset, it's everything when you are starting out because it did help me a lot. So you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Big love from Bali.